Um, Fabricated or induced illness is another name for what used to be called Munchausen's by proxy. It's a more recently used name, and the definition has been expanded, so it isn't quite the same as what was Munchausen's by proxy because it brings more people into the definition. It covers even when a parent thinks that their child is ill, but they're wrong and they're anxious about it and they keep going to doctors. Whereas Munchausen by proxy was supposed to be when a parent or carer was deliberately fabricating a child's symptoms. The official definition by Royal College of Paediatric and Child Health would say that FII is a clinical situation in which a child is likely to be harmed because of the parent's behaviour, which is carried out in order to convince doctors that the child is more impaired than they actually are, whether that's neurodevelopmentally or physical or mental health. And they would argue that it results in emotional and physical abuse, including iatrogenic harm, which is when the doctors cause harm by doing unnecessary tests. So it's a serious issue. And FII, it does happen sometimes that parents do this, but it's really rare. So genuine cases of it, I believe anyway, based on my reading of the literature, that it's very rare. However, what seems to be happening is that a lot of parents are being accused of it when it seems like there's some medical thing going on that isn't being recognised, because there are lots of medical conditions that can take a really long time, sometimes decades, to be recognised. And a lot of the physical conditions that come along with autism, such as things like epilepsy, which is invisible unless you happen to have a seizure in the doctor's office, things like hypermobility, joint disorders, and that's multisystemic. So if you don't know what it is and don't understand about it, a lot of the symptoms of it can seem implausible because they seem completely unrelated. So what I believe, and many others, not just me, believe is happening in the autism community is parents who have got genuine issues with their children. They keep going back to the doctors needing help, and then they're getting accused of fabricated or induced illness. So I would describe the situation as, I would say that FII is a social construct which is created to make sense of clinical situations that don't fit with children's service professionals' experiences or beliefs or understanding of the human body, mind, and behaviour. And I would say that it's a symptom of the power imbalance between those who are described as professionals and those who are in the role of service users. So if what you're seeing in front of you doesn't fit what you're expecting, which is often the case when a parent is autistic, they may not be behaving in a way that you're used to seeing. Perhaps they don't react, they don't look emotional when you think that they should be emotional, or they look too emotional, or they get angry or upset, or also just they may be behaving in a way that a very frustrated parent who knows their child needs medical help and isn't getting it, and they may be behaving in that sort of way, which might mean going to see private doctors or complaining about the professionals. And then this construct of FII becomes a very useful tool, because as soon as you accuse the parent of that, and all you need is a doctor's say so, with a crime that was seen as something criminal, you'd have to get a lot of evidence, but all you need is a professional to say so, and then it silences the parent because they're scared of having their child taken off them. And there's not really anything they can do to protect them themselves against it. So that's what FII is, and it's a major social injustice that's going on at the moment and seems to be on the increase in the autistic community. But looking back at the literature, you've had similar issues even going right back to the 70s. A lot of the case studies I've read appear to be autistic parents where autism's never mentioned. So what we need is people from different areas of academia, such as sociology, to be looking at this issue and take it out of the hands of medical people, because it isn't working in medicine at the moment, and there's lots of errors being made.